U.S. Air Force pilot and member of the House Foreign Relations Committee, Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Congressman, first off, your take on the response by Jordan this morning to execute two in response to the horrific burning of one.
It's Middle East justice. I mean, this is how it's done there. And I think, you know, when you're in the Middle East and you're thinking differently than we think in the West, frankly, this is the kind of response that says, you know, you're serious about destroying ISIS. And I watched the video yesterday, by the way, and I wouldn't suggest. I mean, it's every person's decision, but it was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen, and it just goes to show the barbaric and, frankly, satanic nature of this enemy that we fight. And, you know, look, I think Jordan's probably got some more kind of Middle East justice to come, and it'll be, frankly, kind of nice to see.
Sure. So early on, you were one of the first to say we should not be negotiating with this group in terms of trade. Do you feel as though the video that has since surfaced reemphasizes your point?
Absolutely. You know, this is a very brutal thought process, a brutal group. They're probably recruiting, I don't know this scientifically, but probably twice as fast as we're killing them. It is time for the United States to use our unique position to unite our allies in the Middle East under one umbrella and go from what the president calls degrading and containing ISIS to destroying and crushing ISIS. This is a moment. I think this burning video, you know, as brutal as the beheading videos were, this is one because it's not just against, you know, somebody that we don't necessarily know. This is against an allied pilot in the Middle East that should have Geneva Convention protections. This is the moment where the President of the United States can say, look, it is time to move beyond where we've been and to crush this cancer in the Middle East and prepare the American people for the inevitability of that and some of the difficulties that it's going to entail.
That's right. And, Congressman, in addition to your points, this particular pilot was a devout Muslim, and that changes everything. We had Waleed Faris on with Greta last night, and he says the fact that they have broken all these conventions crosses all sorts of boundaries. Listen to this.
This is something even the most conservative, even Islamist regimes in Iran or in Saudi Arabia have not done, to burn an individual who is Muslim and a prisoner. There are no legal basis for what they have done. What they have done basically was to cross all red lines.
Yeah. So the big question is, what's going to happen going forward? I mean, are people going to rally around the king of Jordan who's saying we got to kill these guys? Or are they going to go, hey, why are we in this fight with the United States?
Well, I have a great deal of respect for Waleed. I think he's one of the smartest guys I know on these issues. Look, I think people are going to rally behind Jordan on this. I think this is an opportunity to unite some of these Middle Eastern countries that sometimes maybe haven't been united. But the only country, and I say this with a great deal of respect for our country because it's a great position to be in, ours is the only country that can unite people under this mission. It doesn't mean we need to do the bulk of ground troops or whatever it's going to involve, but it means we have to bring the moral leadership to bring these countries together to destroy this. And I think this may be a turning point because, you know, it just shows the deathly evil brutality of this thought process, and it's time to be crushed.
Yeah, and Congressman, I just know, too, that you know the area, and this pilot-to-pilot, this is a pilot that died bombing, and I know it really resonates because you're a pilot yourself. As we look at that region and see Jordan is right there on the cusp, that 1,800 Jordanians have decided to go with ISIS, and there's a lot of Syrians who have gone into Jordan for some solace and some peace and maybe some terror ambitions. I'm wondering, how do you fight this? Looking at where ISIS is, where Jordan is, maybe a motivated Saudi Arabia with a new leadership, how do you go about fighting this? Is Turkey going to be involved? Where's the pressure points?
Yeah, everybody's going to have to be involved. There's two issues here. Number one, ISIS being successful is creating an impetus for people to join. You know, anybody that's maybe felt like alone or been left out or had any tendency to jihadism, now when they see this success, they want to join that. They want to be part of it. The other thing is, this is where the president needs to understand. This goes beyond just fighting ISIS in Iraq, as important as that is, and maybe that's the focus right now. But you've got to destroy them in Syria where they're breeding, where they're exploding. Part of that is the brutality of the Assad regime is causing that to expand. So it's going to take probably Turkish ground troops at some point, probably Jordanian, probably Saudi ground troops, and frankly, probably American ground troops embedded with them and, you know, working as forward air controllers and special ops. So this is, the president needs to prepare the American people for this inevitability.
Congressman, what was your reaction? I'm going to play this for you. This is President Obama's reaction to what occurred yesterday. Watch.
I think we'll redouble the vigilance and determination on the part of a global coalition to make sure that they are degraded and ultimately defeated. And it also just indicates the degree to which whatever ideology they're operating off of, it's bankrupt.
Is it too dismissive to refer to their ideology as bankrupt?
I think so, and also to say you're going to redouble your determination to degrade doesn't say a whole lot. Look, I hate to be overly critical all the time of the president, especially on these issues where, you know, we should all be united in, and I appreciate that he's doing airstrikes at least. But I think it's time for the president to do some real strong moral leadership for the American people, to really lay out the fact that this is a brand of Islamic jihadism that has to be recognized for what it is and has to be crushed. Only the president can do that. A member of Congress can talk about it, but we can't have that kind of leadership that the leader of the free world is uniquely capable of doing. And it's time for him to start talking as the Jordanian king talks and talk about how this has got to be ultimately just frankly destroyed and not just degraded.
We got to do something different because this is not working. All right, Congressman, thank you very much for joining us so early on Capitol Hill.
That's right. Thanks for your time.